The avian flu was first discovered in Hong Kong in 1997 and made worldwide headlines when 1.5 million birds were killed in an attempt to contain the virus. This attempt worked for a brief time, but the virus has resurfaced and spread throughout Asia, parts of the Middle East, parts of Africa, and even some European countries. But what are the potential dangers it poses on our way of life? Do you know what public health officials are doing to prepare for its possible arrival in the United States? Do you know what you should be doing to prepare?
Hello, I'm Seth Denny. Over the next several minutes, we'll answer these many questions. But to fully understand how the avian flu affects us, we must first of all understand what influenza actually is. It's typically called the regular seasonal flu. Contrary to popular belief, the flu is not the same as what most people refer to as the stomach flu, which causes nausea, diarrhea, even vomiting. Influenza is a respiratory illness that is caused by a virus, not a bacteria. Bacteria respond to antibiotics. Viruses do not. The flu brings about significant illness and death worldwide each year.
This is due largely to how easily and quickly the flu can spread. The flu is predominantly spread through the air within 3 to 6 feet of an infectious person. This is generated mostly by coughing, sneezing, and talking. The flu is also spread through contact with contaminated hands or surfaces. From the time you come into contact with the virus, you may be sick within 2 days. People who suffer from the regular seasonal flu typically experience the following symptoms: fever and body aches, cough and lack of energy for 2 weeks, symptoms similar to other respiratory infections, headache, sore throat, runny nose. Flu is treatable by resting, drinking lots of fluids, and taking cough and anti-fever medicine. The most effective means to avoid contracting the seasonal flu is by getting your annual flu shot. This is important because the influenza virus undergoes slight changes every year so that our immune system doesn't recognize it quite as well. Getting your flu shot can help to reduce the damage flu epidemics cause in our country each year. Flu epidemics are often underrated, but they affect 5 to 20% of the United States general population each year. 200,000 people are hospitalized. 36,000 people die in the United States each year as a result of vaccine-preventable influenza. 85% of these deaths occur in individuals 65 years old and older, causes an economic loss of $10 billion every year.
So what does all this have to do with the dangers of the avian flu? Well, for starters, the avian influenza A strain, or H5N1, commonly referred to as the bird flu, is a fairly new virus. In fact, although wild birds are generally asymptomatic, the virus causes severe illness, even death, to domestic birds and even humans. As of June 2007, there have been no sustained person-to-person transmissions of this current virus. Humans who have contracted the bird flu have only been infected by direct contact with birds only. However, there are red flags pointing to the frightening possibility of person-to-person transmission and the potential for a pandemic to occur.
A pandemic is not like an epidemic. They differ in frequency of occurrence and magnitude. An epidemic occurs every year, whereas pandemics occur 3 to 4 times per century and have a higher severity of illness and death. Pandemics pose an enormous risk to our society, as 25 to 50% of the population may be infected with no regard to age. Some experts fear that if an individual or animal is infected with the influenza virus at the same time contracts the bird flu, the viruses could easily exchange genetic material, allowing for the possibility of a new virus to emerge. Our bodies will have little to no protection against the new virus. If the virus has the high mortality rate of the bird flu and the highly contagious rate of the regular influenza virus, we will have a pandemic. Unlike the seasonal influenza virus, your annual flu shot will not protect you. If and when the virus mutates, it will take 6 to 9 months to develop a new vaccine, making the risk of a pandemic real. Although the current strain of bird flu has not mutated, the virus has jumped species to cats, leopards, tigers, pigs, and other mammals, allowing the virus to become more widespread and increasing the possibility of the virus changing. This diagram shows how easily humans can become in contact with an animal that may be infected with the avian flu. The jumping of species is somewhat alarming, considering that shortly before the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, the H1N1 bird flu virus did this as well.